Okay. Today is a debug day again. Yesterday was just debugging that, trying to figure out how to upload a picture or how to get access to the database thing, and I wasn't able to solve it. So now it's really time to show if my tactic of basically just taking a break yesterday, coming back to it today, if that tactic actually works or not. If it works, we should be able to get this done pretty quickly. If it doesn't work, then this problem is harder than I thought. So we'll see. Okay, maybe this is taking out the win in too early an advantage, but I might have solved it right now. We're gonna run the app again, type in a name, Khaled the said, so we remember it. Profile picture. I'm just doing this fast now, not actually setting anything correctly. Just thought I should say that. Now when we press finished, when I did it last time, because I just did it before, I was running it in the sandbox environment, and I got the error of basically saying that the path that we're redirecting to after this screen doesn't exist, which is true, but that also means that we might have actually gotten past the access denied error. So if I press finish now, error saving profile, oh my god. Creating user message, what did it say? Conditional request failed, okay, let's the conditional request failed, Dino 400, blah, blah, attempt, locations, error type, conditional check failed, exception. All right. Not sure what that is about. Conditional check failed. Okay, I think we have done it. Updated user successfully, uploaded it to the right bucket on AWS. So let's go here and have a look. We have picture submissions, and we have a profile picture, which is a file. I can't actually see the file, which I think is, I don't think I should be able to see the file. I'm assuming that's some sort of like safety thing so that I, as the administrator, shouldn't be able to just go in and look at every person's picture. But yeah, I think that's the case. But that means we have a profile picture uploaded. We did upload it to picture submissions, which I don't know why, but I think it's something that Grok changed for some reason. So we're gonna see if we can change that back to be profile pictures. Same thing here. Okay, it seems like that worked as well. Profile pictures, and we have a picture. So that means that we now upload pictures, and that means that the users can upload pictures of themselves, which means that the next step is getting those pictures and showing them in the phone calls. And then we're pretty much like we're ready to launch, I think. Maybe not as simple as that, but pretty much that's what we want. Like just be able to upload picture of yourself and then go to the phone call, get the picture so that you can have it in the background blurred so that the person doesn't see who they're talking to at first. And then we're going to have some sort of like progress thing that's going to slowly reveal more and more of the picture, maybe of the person that you're talking to. Not sure how we're going to do that. Maybe it's going to be you're going to start out just being blurred, and you're going to have a timer or something that's going to indicate like if you talk to this person for the full duration, then you're going to get to see the picture of them. Or it could be that a timer that like as you're talking to them, the picture slowly gets less and less blurry, and you start to see what the person looks like. That could also be a thing. But this is good. This is really good. And it actually kind of proves the point that I was trying to make. Not that I was trying to make a point really, but the fact that I was spending some time yesterday, didn't get anywhere with this. And then today got back to it, and within an hour, we solved it and we're now able to upload pictures. I'm pretty happy about that. I actually saw this, I think it was Ali Abdal, if you know who that is. On Instagram, he posted this quote by someone. Well, you can't see that, can you? I don't know if you'll be able to read that, but either way, I screenshotted it. It's from Ali Abdal, and I can read it. G.H. Hardy, one of Britain's leading mathematicians in the first half of the 20th century, would start his day with a leisurely breakfast and close reading of the cricket scores. Then, from 9 to 1, he would be immersed in mathematics. After lunch, he would go out again, walking and playing tennis. And this is a quote from the guy, 4 hours creative work a day is about the limit for a mathematician. He told his friend and fellow Oxford professor Snow Hardy's longtime collaborator John Edensor Littlewood. I don't know what this even says, but believed that the close concentration required to do serious work meant that a mathematician could work 4 hours a day, or at most 5, with breaks about every hour for walks, perhaps. And now this is not close to 4 hours, but it sort of goes back to what I've been talking about a lot on this channel, which is trying to realize that, well, if you really do focus work, then you can get a lot of work done in a very short amount of time. And I feel like that's a way better approach for me. It's been a way better approach to be more consistent and to get more done. Like, instead of sitting and like trudging through problem after problem after problem and not really feeling like you're getting anywhere, and spending like 10 hours, but 10 sort of half-focused, half-assed hours. You spend 1 hour, but you're like hyper-focused and you're really trying to solve the problem that you have. I feel like it's not really comparable to spending way longer, because I think in your own head, I don't know if you notice this yourself, like, because I've done long hours working before, and I feel like I feel productive when I do long hours, but I think the reality is that I'm not very productive. Like, I think I am pretty productive for like the first 3-4 hours, and then as I continue, the productivity just decreases. And the reason that I feel productive is because problems show up that I'm trying to battle. I'm like really thinking hard and trying to solve all the problems that come up. The only thing is that, how would you explain this? I think it's like a curvature that goes something like, well, how would this be? Um, so at the start of the day, when you've done zero work, then you have a lot of energy and you can tackle really difficult problems. But as your energy kind of decreases throughout the day, smaller problems start to become more and more difficult. So that means that you run into more and more problems the longer you sit, especially with coding, I think is a really good example of this. So it sort of means that you feel like you're like a constant, like you're just going on the same level all day, because you feel like you're just running into more like problem after problem after problem, which is what coding is like. But the reality is that you're actually running into easier and easier problems. It's just that your capacity to solve them decreases over time, which means that at the start of the day, like on hour 1, the problem that you face on hour 10, wait, how would this, so the problem that you face on hour 10 wouldn't even have been a problem on hour 1, because you would have just seen like, okay, that's how you solve that, and you wouldn't really have thought about it. But since your capacity to solve that problem has decreased with time, it means that by hour 10, a problem that wouldn't have existed because it would have been so easy to solve on hour 1, now is a problem that takes up quite a lot of energy and effort for you to think through. And it means that you can kind of keep going at the steady pace of just like handling problem, 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 and you just feel like you're productive, but you're actually you're making less and less progress throughout the day. That's been my experience, at least. Or not at the time, because at the time I thought that I was productive, but looking back on it now and following this routine that I've been following for the past like 5 months or 4 months, I am realizing more and more that I've probably been very unproductive on those really long days. It's just that it's felt super productive because I've been working, and you kind of feel very productive with coding when you're like looking for a solution to something, and it takes like just a few seconds to change whatever you need to change in order to test the new thing that you changed. And then you realize that, okay, the error still exists. So you know that, okay, well, I can just change this thing. So you go in back and you change that. And all those small changes don't take that much time, which makes you feel super productive because lots of stuff is happening. You're just like testing thing after thing after thing. But the problem is that, again, on hour 10 of doing that, your capacity to come up with good solutions is quite poor, which means that yes, you can come up with a new, like, okay, I can test this, I can test this, I can test this, but you're not as capable of actually finding the root cause of the problem. And so you might end up testing 100 things, whereas on hour 1, you would have tested like 1 or 2 things, maybe, and then solved it. That's what it feels like. I don't know if this makes any sense, but I think it does. And I think I mean, it shows sort of today. You could argue that this was an easy problem and that if I would have just spent like 30 minutes more yesterday, I would have solved it yesterday. But I don't think that's the case. I think you need to leave the work and then come back to it with a fresh mind. And then you can just like solve it way more efficiently. And that's what I feel like I did today. Anyway, I hope some of that made sense. I feel like I don't make half as much sense as it does in my head, but either way, I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next one on Friday.